I used to drink beer, liquor, whiskey, and even moonshine. I used to smoke weed like Bob Marley and Snoop Doggy Dogg. Why? I was depressed. In this video, I'm going to show you how I changed that all around. Welcome back to the channel, Roy Ones. Thank you for coming back. It's always a pleasure to see you. So, the main reason I made this video is because I wanted to share my personal experience of being depressed and how I moved past depression to joy. So, one of the main reasons I was depressed is because I was living a false life. I was being something that I wasn't, doing things that I really didn't want to do. Some of those things included like going to the clubs. You know, I really was never a club person. It never really made sense, and I never really fit into those environments. So, and also it included hanging around people that seemed to be caught up in the rap world, in the movies, Boys in the Hood, this type of environment, this type of stereotype of what they should be. And for a while, I was in that mix, but never really felt comfortable, never really felt like I belonged. So the only way I really got out of that space was when I first moved. When I moved, it's like a big weight lifted off me because I pretty much separated myself from my family, from my friends, and started to do every single thing I've ever wanted to do. That included going to plays, that included changing my diet, that included going to tons of meetup classes, you know, on spirituality, on mental health, on freaking being the best you could be. I went to so many of these classes, it was amazing. It's like I was in a university of meetup, right? And I also did different energy work like Reiki for 2 years. I did another energy work program called Sukyo Maikari, which I did for 3 years. You know, these things made me feel alive, but none of my friends and my family and associates really was in that mix or really understood what I was doing. By the time I started to come back around my family and friends, they all told me that I changed. And it was a little odd at first because I never felt like I fit back in with my family and friends. And that became a little lonely at first. But the learning process that I was going through and how much fun I had superseded that. So, you know, it became a time where I would go look in the mirror and then I would be super excited. I would look in the mirror and be proud to see who I was at that point. You know, prior to moving, I never really used to smile, never really used to joke that much. Why? I just wasn't happy. It's just a reality. And that not being happy was I was really depressed. So when I was finally able to look in the mirror and start to look at myself and be happy, smile, I knew I was on the right path for my own personal development, for my own soul's journey. It wasn't predicated on what somebody else believed. It wasn't predicated to what society thought. It was all based on me and what I felt and what I wanted to do. And that pretty much changed me. You know, so yes, the journey was lonely at times and still can be sometimes. You gotta find your tribe. You know, when you find your tribe, the journey becomes less lonely, but you still have periods where you become lonely. And lonely doesn't mean sad. It doesn't mean unhappy. Now that I'm really in tune with myself on a whole different level, I look forward to it. I actually look forward to having time with myself and not really being surrounded with people going on the learning curve, right? So moving out was one. Separating myself from people, family and friends. Really developing my mind, reading everything I possibly could on self-development, on health, you know, which is another big component to getting over depression. Stop filling yourself with trash, right? If you stop filling yourself with trash and put yourself on a lot of superfoods, put that in your body, and actually start taking some colon cleanses to release the backed up fecal matter of 10 to 30 pounds that's lodged in your stomach, that's being recycled by your blood, going into your brain. It's hard to think sweet thoughts on a sour stomach. Once we start taking care of ourselves, treating our body like a temple, which a lot of us really doesn't truly understand what that means. We have to learn what that means. Things will start to shift. There's a couple of things that we all need to focus on: mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. We have to develop all of those things in order to really start to be joyful, really to start to express ourselves in a natural manner where we can, proliferate joy. We have to work on ourselves, right? So I would say it again: clean up your diet, get rid of the backed up fecal matter in your stomach by taking colon cleanses, put in nutrition. Nutrition is paramount because it will boost up your energy, which goes to your brain and releases serotonin and allows you to be more joyful. Get rid of people that are not helping you in your life, that are making fun of you, that are not supporting your new choices in life. Separate yourself from them. It is a must, because they become like negative forces in your life that keep you depressed. What does depressed actually mean? It means something putting pressure on you, keeping you down. In order to really release these things, it has to do with thinking positively, putting constructive, progressive thoughts in your mind, monitoring yourself. It has to do with emotionally lifting a lot of blocks that we have, forgiving people, forgiving ourselves. This is a must, because most of the time we think it's all the time what we put in. Most of the time we have to release a lot of the energies, heavy energies that are actually weighing us down, and we start to feel more light, start to feel more lifted up. It is important that you understand the philosophies of feeling depressed, because once you understand, if you start to do things that lift you up, release negative energies from you, including mental energies, you automatically start to rise in vibration. You automatically start to feel better. You automatically start to feel alive. It is your God-given right to feel alive, to be joyful. It's your choice. It's your dedication that allows you to be able to be in a higher frequency. It is your choice. Do not let outside circumstances dictate your own thoughts, emotions, and feelings on choosing to be happy, to be joyful, because it is a must that we all take responsibility to be happy, to be joyful. That means we have to take actions that dictate who we are, who we want to be. It's our choice. And we also can kind of remember the philosophy of feeling good. Feeling good means feeling light. So do the things that help you to feel light. Clean out your system. Put the constructive thoughts in your mind. Release the emotions that are backing you up, that's holding you down. You automatically start to get lifted. You never see nobody feel happy and look down and say, I'm happy. You always see people feeling good, looking up, raising their hands. It's because now you're lighter. You don't have too much weight on you. Now, if you're on medications and stuff like that, that's a whole different ballgame. That's a whole different world. It's going to take you longer to actually be able to lift up yourself, because the medications have a lot of negative side effects. So, wait a minute. This is not approved by the FDA or medical establishments. You know, the whole blah, blah, blah thing. Chat with your physician. Right? But at the end of the day, if you're on medication, it's going to take longer. If you can, do what you have to do to get yourself off the medication so you can start to lift yourself up mentally and emotionally. That will be a huge benefit in your factor too. So at the end of the day, remember, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritually, clean yourself up. Release the emotional blocks. Forgive yourself. Forgive other people. Think constructively. Think progressively, positively. And start to do the things that you've always wanted to do. Start to accomplish things. You can never really feel good about yourself until you accomplish the things that are important to you, not that's important to somebody else. You might have went to college and you never really wanted to. That's not going to lift your self-esteem. It's not going to build you up. Find out what makes you feel good and do it all the time. And you will start to relieve some of the depression, some of the anxiety. That's how I did it. Hope this helps. Peace.